Marcus Mosher of Locked On Cowboys. So happy to have you back. Let's talk about the draft.
Let's do it. This is it's always one of my favorite times of the year, getting to react to all the stuff that happened over those crazy 3 days. I'm excited to jump into it.
And there were some things that happened. Let's start right at the
Yes.
top. So the Cowboys go Tyler Booker at 12 overall. What was your reaction to that pick?
Not great. I mean, if you would have saw me at my house when they made that pick, you would have seen a very angry Dallas Cowboy fan, but I get it. They
Mhm.
felt like Tyler Booker was the best player available in this class, and they didn't have a big need at guard, but they just felt like he was too good of a talent to pass up. They lost Zach Martin to retirement. Their offensive line's been getting older. I understand the pick, but then you go look at their wide receivers. I'm sure we'll get to that in a little bit, and it's
Oh, we
it's
will.
it's hard to see this offense being successful with the wide receivers they have outside of CeeDee Lamb. So I like Tyler Booker, the player. I don't know if I like Tyler Booker, the pick at number 12.
So if we talk about the player, what kind of player are the Cowboys getting in Tyler Booker? How does he fit in with that offensive line?
He is a massive, massive offensive lineman. And the Cowboys are going to be running more gap stuff, which all that means is they're going to be trying to go downhill, drive defenders off the ball. And that's what Tyler Booker does extremely well. He's not a fantastic athlete. He doesn't have a beautiful body or anything like that. He's just a big, mean dude on the offensive line. And I think the Cowboys do need some of that. They just haven't had one of those guys in a long time. And I think Tyler Booker brings some attitude to an offense that desperately needs it.
Do you think he was their plan? Or did they
No.
really, really hope to get Tedero
Yes.
McMillan at that
The,
spot?
the plan was to get Tedero McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona. I think the Cowboys thought there was a really good chance that he was going to be there. But after he went at pick 8 to the Panthers, I think their next plan, honestly, was to trade back in the draft, maybe down to 19, 20, 21, and
Mhm.
then see what offensive linemen or receivers were available. But the phone just didn't ring, and they didn't have any trade offers that were attractive enough to them. So they decided to sit at pick 12 and take their top player. We can argue whether that's the right decision or not. I personally, I don't think so. But it's hard to be too upset with them when they address the offensive line and they just take the top guy that was available to them.
What does picking a guard this high tell us about how teams are viewing the value of the interior offensive line in today's NFL? It feels like this has become one of the premium positions, like almost behind quarterback.
Yeah, you look at like the two teams in the Super Bowl last year, the Kansas City
Mhm.
Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were fantastic at those spots. Now, the Chiefs had some problems at tackle, but they had an all-pro center in Creed Humphrey. They had two Pro Bowl guards in Joe Thuney and Trey Smith. And I think the philosophy is if you can't get a difference maker at wide receiver, corner, pass rusher, build up the offensive line because it's just going to make everybody else on that side of the ball better. I think there's an argument that maybe you don't need to spend the number 12 pick on it because the
Mm.
Eagles and Chiefs didn't spend a first round pick on a guard or center on their teams. But I think the overall philosophy of trying to build up your offensive line into a juggernaut is a smart one.
So the Cowboys, they have a history of, we'll say, reaching in the second round. Not this year, in my opinion. I loved the Donovan Ezaraku pick. What were your thoughts on this?
I mean, personally, I like Donovan Ezaraku better than Tyler Booker, just straight up. I thought he was a better prospect. You look at what
I
he
thought
did.
he could have been round one for sure. I was surprised that he slipped into the second round.
I think he should have been round one. I think he's one of the most polished players in this class. He led the Power Four schools in sacks with 16 and a half. Super, super productive. The only reason why he fell out of round one is because he's short. He's 6'2". He's 250 pounds. And a lot of these teams like the edge rushers that are much bigger. I wouldn't say longer because he's got really long arms and a massive wingspan. They just like the guys that look like Jadeveon Clowney and Julius Peppers, and that's not Donovan Ezaraku. But I
Mm.
think for the Cowboys, a team that desperately needed some pass rush juice, opposite of Micah Parsons, this was a match made in heaven. They couldn't have gotten better value at pick 44. Again, I think Ezaraku is a better player than Tyler Booker, so the fact that you got him in round 2 is fantastic.
I agree with that. So, any day three picks that you're looking at that you think could surprise people and end up being key contributors on this team?
Yeah, let's look at the two running backs they drafted.
Mhm.
Jaden Blue from Texas. I think a lot of people anticipated, hey, if the Cowboys aren't drafting a running back in round 1, they'll certainly get one by day 2. Didn't happen. They let the board fall to them. That wasn't the case at running back. There just wasn't a viable option available. But Jaden Blue in round 5, that's somebody who can come right in, give some speed and explosiveness to an offense that desperately needs it. We watched this team last year have Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook, and there just was no juice at the running back position. I think Blue can provide that. And then in the 7th round, Phil Maffa, a running back from
Mm.
Clemson. I don't know if a lot of people know who he is, but extremely productive over the last 2 years. 21 rushing touchdowns, averaged over 5.5 yards per carry. He's not particularly fast, but he is a huge running back that gets downhill. And with the Cowboys trying to beef up their offensive line, maybe you need a running back like this that can be the hammer in your offense. I think Phil Maffa could potentially be a steal for the Dallas Cowboys.
I was a little shocked to see them pass on DJ Giddens. Is this going to be a running back by committee situation now with the backs they have?
I'm gonna be honest. I was shocked they passed on DJ Giddens as well. Giddens' former offensive coordinator Connor Riley is the
Yeah.
Cowboys' new offensive line coach, so you would have thought that would have made a perfect fit. But apparently, they had the inside intel, and they maybe thought that there was better options available. And the reason they went with Blue is he's just a superior athlete. He's not, I wouldn't say he's a more polished runner, but I think the Cowboys are searching for traits at that position. But again, I think Giddens is a fantastic value for the Colts. I think he's going to do well over there behind Jonathan Taylor.
Thanks for watching this episode on the BetCanada channel. I have more draft content coming with Marcus, so hit that subscribe button.